I'm Howard Gangloffs, and I collect classic cars. I sell classic cars also, but I mostly collect them. Started when I was very young, about 14 years old. My dad got me into it, and I still own an original car, my 1970 Dodge Charger that my dad gave me. It was passed on from my grandpa, which bought it brand new, and then my dad got it, and then he gave it to me. It's my car I used to drive in high school, a car I'll never get rid of. I'm going to pass it down to my family, and I still have it today. It's one of the first cars I've painted when I was younger. I painted it when I was 18 years old in high school. And I painted a few cars before that, before I painted that, because I wanted to make sure I was good enough for it. I started out working for Do It All Electric, which is my dad's company. And when we got slow, he let me paint some company vans. And that's how I learned how to do body work and painting cars. One of my nice cars I have, and I'll probably keep it for a while, is my 1954 Corvette. Corvette first came out in 1953, so this is the second year that they came out. I bought it off a friend of mine. That he had it for a long, long time, so I went ahead and bought it from him because I liked it, and he was willing to sell it. It's a rare car. There's only a couple thousand of them made. And they all came in the same color. They're all white with red interior. They all came with blue flame 6 cylinders. They didn't have V8s then, so that's what you had to deal with. It was sort of a test car for Chevrolet Corvette to build, to see what the market would be for one of the first type muscle cars like that, and to compete against foreign cars. It takes a long time to restore cars the way we do them now, with being the frame off, nut and bolt restoration. It's a long process of stripping down the car, redoing every single nut and bolt on the car, trying to use all the original parts over so they're more original, stripping all the old paint off of them. Sometimes the cars have 3 or 4 coats of paint on them. From different people that owned them, left the old paint on and painted over them. We got to start back over fresh all the way down to the bare metal all the time to do a perfect job. We replace all the bad metal, all that stuff. It takes a long time to do a car like that. Usually it takes about full time, 40 hours a week. And it takes about 6 months to complete a car if you work that long on them. We get interrupted a lot with other little jobs we do in between, so it sometimes takes up to a year to do a car. If we can work on it full time, 40 hours a week, usually about 6 months. That includes completely detailing the engines, everything. Completely rebuilding the engines, rebuilding the bodies, repolishing the chrome, re-chroming everything, just everything to do with the car to make it look like it's completely brand new. It's a 1968 Olds Tornado, and it's a front-wheel drive car. It's kind of rare. It's more rare than the other Tornadoes out there because it has bucket seats, center console, and it's front-wheel drive, so It's a little bit more rare with that. I think they only made 2,000 of them with bucket seats in center console. That's why we went ahead and painted this car up and did it. When I go out hunting for car parts and cars, if I see things laying around people's garages or in their house or something, I try to work out deals where I can grab something. There's all kinds of stuff up there. I've been collecting it all for probably ever since I've been collecting cars, so that stuff I don't actually sell. It's just stuff for people to come in and look at. I keep my 54 Corvette up there, but every once in a while I'll put a different car up in there. And there's lots of antique stuff. And a lot of it's automotive related, beer can related, stuff like that, Pepsi, Coke, stuff like that. My son don't like it. He's more into the car stuff, but I like it because it's just neat stuff to talk about. Another thing is once you go black, you'll never go back. And let me explain what that means, because I know that you're going to take this the wrong way. But this car, for instance, is a black original car. It will sell more than a red car, orange car, green car, any other color, because black is the #1 color for a car to sell, especially collector cars. And another thing is we can take a 1969 Camaro and paint it black and put blue stripes on it, and it would sell for $10,000 more than if we did the car yellow with black stripes or red with black stripes. So black is the main color for any kind of car when you go to refurbish them. Got about $100,000 worth of equipment down here. This is the lower section, but never was always $100,000 of equipment. It takes a long time to build up that much. You can't just go out and buy everything at once. You know, when you first start out, you start out with, instead of having shears like I got now to cut metal, we'd hand cut it with hand shears. To bend the metal, we got a press now. To bend the metal, we used to use hammer and blocks of wood. This is where we pretty much live. We store our cars on the upper level of the building, and down here we do our work. In front of me I have an engine. This is built for a 1969 Corvette that we're doing, and here's a case where this engine's probably worth about $15,000. We probably got about $6,000 in machine work and labor in it. My favorite car is probably the Corvettes, if you're going to have the newer generation type cars. They hold the road good, they're fast, they're neat looking, and they're just great cars to drive. And then you got the other cars I like are muscle cars from the 60s and 70s, but my favorite is the Mopars. They got the Charger, GTX, Roadrunner, and stuff like that. They're more rare. They're more neater looking in colors. They had some really neat colors back then. They had a color called Hemi Orange, like my Charger is right now. They had Lime Time Green, Vitamin C Green, stuff like that. So they had all kinds of weird colors back then, and after that happened, people liked the colors back then, and then in the 80s and 90s, people started getting rid of them colors on their cars because they hated them, and then they repainted them like aftermarket colors to get rid of them colors. Well, now those colors have came back again. So now here in 2011, 12, and 13, the Dodge company, Chrysler company is making Challengers and Chargers again, and they're starting to use those colors again, and people are loving them again because it reminds them back in the days when we had those muscle cars, those colors. At one time I wanted to start a car museum. That's why I started collecting these cars. That's why I had so many of them. I wanted to have some different kind of cars that nobody else had, and I wanted to actually open up a car museum in the building I'm in now. It was large enough to do it. It takes a lot of money to do all that, so I don't know if I'm ever going to do it. I'd still like to, but if I do, it's going to be a lot smaller caliber. It's going to be, instead of having 125 cars in it, I'd rather have 50 cars in it of nicer cars that we've redone ourselves, and a little bit more rarer cars. and just go from there.